Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Momentum Ritual. If you have seen the advertisements before we started, this gathering today is about harvesting your intentions, harvesting the seeds that you've been planting in your life. It is the month of September. So if you're watching the replay and it's not September, maybe just kind of put yourself in that energetic vibe. Fall is beginning to start. Some of the leaves are starting to fall from the trees. The world is slowly changing. The earth is literally tilting away from the sun in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're with me in the Northern Hemisphere. And if you're with me, you've hopefully been here before, or maybe this is your first time, but my name is Andrea Luzon. I stand for individuals who are ready to liberate their legacy. So you have a legacy bubbling inside of you. And I'm not talking about buildings and money and land and inheritance and maybe fame comes to mind. Those things are all wonderful. I'm talking more about your love legacy, the imprint that you're making on your own heart and mind, and the imprint you're making on the hearts and minds of others. That's simply by you being who you are. That's by you showing up. That's by you speaking your truth, and also by your actions and your deeds. So welcome to the Momentum Ritual here in September. So if you see me looking in two places, I am talking to our crowd over here in Instagram land. We're on the Legacy Liberation Coaching channel. And here I have some people here with me intimately in the recording space. I will be the only face recorded, just so you know. But also we are streaming into our Facebook group, which is called the Awake, Free, Expansive Community. And that's because as I was starting this work, coming on this path of self-actualization, self-realization, the words that kept coming forward were that I wanted to wake up. I wanted to wake up to my dream. I had really lost sight of the ability to dream and have desire and want to work towards things in my life. I had really become I had really fallen back on my heels and thought that my life was all that there would be ever. Like, I guess this is all there is. So to wake up to dreaming, to wake up to the blocks, to then get free of those blocks, to feel free in my life. And then that last word, expansive. So feeling like I was living from that most expansive place. And I think I let everyone in. Okay, great. Having some tech challenges today. I have friends who are very astrological and they're always telling me Mercury is in retrograde. I'm like, when is Mercury not in retrograde? Okay, so for those of you who are stepping into the space, I'd love for you to settle in. So begin to, maybe you want to get some wiggles out. If you're sitting, I'd love for you to elongate your spine, maybe tuck your lower ribs down just a little bit. A lot of us, especially ladies, we have a tendency to kind of curve that lower back, especially if you're sitting in with your feet on the floor like I am. So I'm gonna get my feet really flat on the floor and I'm tucking those lower ribs down a bit to support the alignment of my spine. Also bringing my chin downwards just a little bit. Believe it or not, that actually brings your spine into more of a straight position. So another fun way that I believe supports us in connecting is a process that I call saging. Okay, so if you've never been saged before, just again, start to notice your breath, start to come into the space that you're in, allow yourself to be held in this container with me, Andrea Luzon, your guide for the day. I have this is a pelican feather, and pelicans are meant to bring messages. They're meant to, there's also pelicans are known for delivering, no, those are storks, storks, pelicans. But they're known to be harbingers of change, harbingers of messages. So this is a pelican feather. It's from my parents' lake in Minnesota. And so what I'm going to do is just visualize that I'm taking this gentle smoke and moving it up and down the front of your body. And it's not disturbing you. It just feels like this nice, gentle scent. And it really is for clearing. And then imagine that I'm behind you and I take that same smoke and then I kind of, I don't want to say scrape, but I move from your shoulder blades down to your lower back, just kind of moving off any energy that's not serving you in being fully present today. that's not serving you in the highest expression that you are. So just imagine that kind of touching your shoulder blades, just nice and gentle, and then just moving down and kind of swooshing off from your back. Okay, so there is our short saging process. So again, notice your breath. Notice yourself coming into this moment. So breathing in and breathing out. And if you're looking at the camera, you'll notice that I have brought my eyelids to a closed position. That really supports me in having more of an inner experience than an outer experience. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And I would love for you to just follow my voice and let it be the voice that is inside of you, inside of your mind, inside of your heart. So shaking off anything stuck on your next exhale. I like to wiggle my hips a little bit, sort of a Shakira move in a chair, a little bit of a belly dancing move, just to kind of shake off any nervousness, any feeling silly, any feeling like I have to be somewhere else other than right here in this moment. So following my voice and letting it be your own. I feel my face relaxing. I feel the muscles across my forehead. I feel the muscles around my eyes loosening, relaxing. I feel the muscles between my neck and my shoulders smoothing down my back. I feel those muscles feeling lighter. The tension is just smoothing and dripping off of my back. I feel my breath lengthening. I'm breathing in a way that relaxes me and brings me into this present moment. I am feeling whole. I am bringing myself into greater wholeness. I'm allowing myself to expand my worthiness from within my mind and my body, connected to my spirit. I feel that sovereign worthiness. I didn't have to do anything to earn this breath or earn my heartbeat. I simply showed up by being here in this present moment. I breathe that in and exhale out any tension, any hardship. I breathe in my divine wisdom. I am guided from within. I am guided from source. I am guided from spirit. I allow my mind and my body to be connected to that one true source that speaks to me. I allow myself to feel that divine, boundless energy. I allow it to soothe my pain. I truly let it in. I am whole. I am worthy. I am divinely wise. Again, I breathe in those truths. On my next inhale, I make it nice and deep. And I sigh out any residing tension. Beautiful. On my next in-breath, I make it a smiling in-breath where I lift the corners of my mouth. It's interesting how the muscles of my face tell my body that there is positive energy available to me always. I'm here today to understand that I harvest what I plant. I am here to reap what I have sown. This present moment only tells me about my past. I'm here to decide what seeds I want to plant for my future. I'm here in this moment to set intentions about the life I am creating, not the life behind me. Sometimes I get stuck in looking around my life and believing that this is all there is, when the truth is that when I look around my life, it is only showing the past. I can plant fresh seeds in the now and know that they are coming to fruition in the future. When I think of the word legacy, one definition provided to me is that legacy is planting seeds that come to fruition and may happen so far into the future that I'm not even around to see that final plant, that final harvest. I plant these seeds in the now, not only for myself, but for future generations to harvest, for people that I love to harvest in the future. True legacy is planting seeds that I may not even be around to see in their final state. I breathe that in and exhale out any tension, any resistance. I realize that I often get exactly what I expect. I'm willing to ponder that in my life, I get what I expect. When I plant beans, I get beans. When I plant corn, I get corn. So what am I planting today? Am I tending to what I've planted in the past? Am I truly showing up in my vision? Am I truly showing up for all I desire? I am the great gardener of my life. I am planting my future today simply by listening to my thoughts, redirecting my thoughts, claiming my highest good. Not what I see around me, but the highest good. That sovereign, divine wisdom inside me calls me forward. What am I expecting from my life? If I expect defeat before I even start, then I often find defeat. Am I willing to look at my belief systems? Am I willing to look at my mindset? It's time to pull up the rootstock that has grown toxic plants in my life. For those of you who may have gathered that have someone who is neurodivergent in your life, I often speak about ADHD. Those of us who have loved ones that are in the neurodivergent spectrum, we get to consider the expectations we have for those individuals. Are we holding them to a standard that is neurotypical, that they can't quite reach in this moment? And then what does that do to our relationship? If those titles do not relate to you, look at your relationships. Where do you have expectation? Instead of being open and allowing, not for people to walk all over us, but being allowing that each person has their own persuasions, their own ways of showing up, and they're having their own conversations in their head. What do they believe about themselves? Can I truly witness the people around me? Can I be the neutral observer? Can I hold to my values and my intentions in the face of disruption, in the face of disappointment, in the face of unmet expectation? Can I truly show up for myself and the vision that I wish to harvest in my life? The seeds that I want to sow. I desire to reap the benefits of those seeds. Am I willing to tend them and stand by them in the face of adversity? When storms hit, am I willing to stake them, give them support, stand in my truth, and create the life I've imagined? I'm willing to see that I have an attachment to my past interpretations of life. Again, I'm willing to see that I have an attachment to past interpretations I've held about the world, about myself, about love, about life. I'm willing to see that my patterns of interpretation release hormones in my body, and my body has learned to expect those same chemicals to show up. And thus the cycle keeps perpetuating itself. I'm willing to look at those patterns. I'm willing to see that my mind and body expect those same expectations again and again. I'm willing to see that those patterns and the chemicals that those patterns release within me are almost like an addiction. I'm willing to see in a new way. I'm willing to unlearn this pattern of expectation. I'm willing to open my heart, train my mind and body to see in a new way, so that new chemicals like serotonin can be released, chemicals of joy, chemicals of possibility, chemicals of prayer, chemicals of me showing up in my truth, even in the face of adversity. I'm willing to retrain my body and mind in alignment with my highest good, with the vision that I have in alignment with my soul. I breathe in this possibility on my next in-breath. I make it nice and deep. And I exhale out, releasing any tension, releasing any restriction holding me back from my possibility, from my highest good. I'm willing to release the patterns that are not in my highest good. I am willing to release patterns that are not in my highest good. I'm willing to see myself fully and completely whole, fully and completely worthy of love and all I imagine, fully and completely divinely wise, able to hear my intuitive guidance and courageously act on those intuitive hits, because they are in alignment with myself and my divine nature. So I breathe all of that in and I exhale out, On my next in-breath, I make it a smiling in-breath where I lift the corners of my mouth. Exhaling out with a sigh, open the mouth and sighing. I like to shake. If that serves me, shake it out. And on your last in-breath together with focused intention, I invite all of us to blink open and close our eyelids. So I am trusting that the theme of today, that we're here to harvest the seeds that we choose to sow in our lives. That is the intention, to bring all of us into greater alignment with that divine nature that we all have. So to solidify this with a little bit of movement, I'm going to change my camera a little bit. And I would love for you to, I'm seated in a chair, so I'd love to have you rest your hands on your thighs. This is the movement portion. And if you need to keep taking deep breaths, then go ahead and do that. But I would love for you, we're going to do a little seated cat-cow. So place your hands on your thighs, and I'd love for you to lift your heart up and take a nice deep in-breath. Lifting your chin to the sky. And then I like to cup my knees. And then round your spine towards the back of you and blow out. Nice. Press your hands on your thighs and again, lift your heart up, arching the back, chin towards the sky. Nice deep in-breath. I'm even pushing up a little bit to like lengthen my spine. And then breathing out, cup the knees to give you some support, but really arch your back. Ooh, you should feel a nice stretch in your spine. Ooh. Okay, pushing on the thighs, arching your back, lifting your heart, breathing in. And one last out breath together, cupping the knees and rounding the back. Stretch your arms forward. Yawning or burping, totally normal. Totally normal. So in our community, I would love to see if there are any comments. If you want to type anything that's coming forward. This moment, if you haven't brought a journal and a pen, I don't see my favorite purple pen, but I'll go with aqua blue. So I highly recommend grabbing a journal and a pen as we move forward. I always get a little bit sad when I'm towards the end of a journal. I have like one page left. And yet I wouldn't want to be carrying around like a giant, really thick book. Okay, so I'm turning to a new page. I love to write momentum ritual across the top of my page. And I love to write the date. Okay, I'm wiggling everything. Okay, momentum ritual and the date. The first question I would love for each of us to sit with is, what seeds do I want to harvest in my life? What seeds do I want to harvest in my life? What I mean by that, if you've been here with us through the entire recording, you would, hopefully it'll land, but oftentimes we look around our life right now and we think like, this is all that I'm ever going to get. This is the most money I'm going to make. This is the most love I'm ever going to have. These are the most friends I will ever have. This is the best my relationship is ever going to be with so-and-so. Things like that. We see, and then we convince ourselves that the current reality is all that is possible forever into eternity. And for some of us, that's great. We're looking around our life and we're like, yes, this is exactly everything. And this is perfect. For a lot of us, we have a lot of inner critic happening. For a lot of us, we have a high functioning, an inner critic that shows up a lot. So what I'd love for us to sit with is, what do I want to create in my life? If I were to plant seeds today, if you were with us in March, I literally planted seeds in soil with you during this gathering. But I'd love for you to imagine. So that was March. So in my garden in March, I was planting seeds in containers under a grow light so that tomatoes and cucumbers could grow in pots for almost 2 months. March, April, May. Yeah, well, more than. So they were growing under a grow light because it was still too cold outside. But then I planted them out in the soil in June, early June, late May. And then now I'm reaping the, I should have brought tomatoes for you to see. These beautiful tomatoes that are my family and I are enjoying. So where I'm going with that, I planted seeds in March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So it's been 6, 7 months since I planted those seeds to being able to harvest what I created. So in your life, using the garden as an analogy, what are the seeds you would like to plant now so that you can reap the benefit and enjoy them coming to fruition in the future? So for example, I would love to, let's see, what seeds do I want to harvest in my life? So I would like to harvest the seed of unconditional love with my son, for example, for me to be so in my values of joy, play, connection. Let's say those are values that are very important to me: joy, play, connection. So I would love to harvest the seeds of unconditional love, joy, play, and connection with my son, my neurodivergent son. So I'm going to write that down, because if I plant those seeds of joy, unconditional love, play, and connection now, then in 6, 7 months, we're going to grow from that place. We're going to grow from that energy. So what would you like to plant in your career and see it grow? What would you like to plant in your relationships and see it grow? Maybe self-care is an area you're calling yourself forward, maybe fitness or health. But think about these different areas of your life, and I'd love to see you answer from that place. What seeds would I like to sow in these various areas of my life? And I'm going to play a little music and stop talking so you all can land in answering that question. So what seeds do I want to harvest or sow? What seeds do I want to sow or harvest in my life? Oh, awesome. Thank you for replying. Peace with myself, love, financial abundance. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. The second question I would love to ask you is, have you asked yourself this? Think of, okay, what ways of being will help me realize those dreams? What ways of being will help me realize those dreams? So ways of being are like patient, rigorous, passionate, purposeful, powerful, playful. Looking at some of my words. So these are words of inspiration, or you could think of them as lighthouse words. It's like when you're feeling a bit lost at sea, when you're feeling like you're in the darkness, what are some words that you can reach for? If you didn't notice, I have this, it's very much getting tarnished, but I have my word of inspiration for 2023 is compass. And so for me, I believe we all have a divine compass. It's, if we can slow down and tune in, it will show us the direction we're wanting to go, or the direction we're meant to go. Like it's your divine compass. So a word of inspiration or a way of being, will serve you in bringing those dreams to reality. So dial into those for the next few minutes. I wrote compass, I wrote centered, and I wrote liberation. Trust, openness, serenity. Of those. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, hello, loves. Yay. Okay, so you just wrote down some words that can support you in coming back, some lighthouse words that can support you in coming back to your intention of the seed you want to harvest in your life. That was question number 2. So lastly, I'd love to call this a heart storm instead of a brainstorm. Heart storm. What are some actions I could take to support these seeds coming to fruition? What are some actions I could take to support these seeds coming to fruition? What are some actions I could take to support these seeds coming to fruition? And now we're going to lean into action. And again, this is possibility. This is not a have to. This is a get to possibility. Opening yourself up to, wow, I could call so-and-so who's in a career that I'm interested in and just ask her for an informational interview. Take her out to coffee and ask her about the career that she's in that has always intrigued me. But today I'm actually going to take a step towards learning more about it. Like that, some possible actions. For a minute. Okay, loves. For the sake of time, also I have a women's group right after this that I run, and I get to make sure I'm able to make the transition between the two, feeling really guided internally. So for the sake of time, I would love for us to begin to wrap. If you are still writing, or if you feel there is more for you here, keep going. Or pencil in your calendar sometime today. Sit with me and maybe take these words in your practice, your daily practice. Maybe that's prayer, maybe that's meditation. Maybe you have a mindfulness walk that you go on where you don't bring technology. But you could let yourself sit with these lighthouse words or these that you want to plant and take them into your practice. Let them marinate inside of your DNA, cellular structure. Okay, because when we allow ourselves to focus, and through the power of writing that we just did, we are telling Spirit, Source, Universe that the direction we want to go, the direction we're interested in opening ourselves up to. So that's what we've created together here today. We are truly liberating our love legacy. Okay, that is the divine imprint that you are here to first realize inside of yourself. And then you can take it out. And then it will just naturally ooze out of you. It's like making fingerprints on the hearts and minds of everyone you come into contact with. That is your true love legacy. Not imprinting from our wounds or from the pain of our past or our defense mechanisms, but really truly being in alignment with our love legacy. And then it truly imprints in all our relationships, our workplace, everywhere we go, our team, our family. So I'm truly grateful that you've all made it here today. Again, I'm Andrea Luzon, Legacy Liberator. This is such a joy to experience with you every first Monday of the month. You are so welcome. Thank you for the messages. Truly wishing everyone here just the greatest alignment with your love legacy, that it just out into the world. So thank you so much. I'm hopping into my next container. So I'm going to bid you all adieu, but feel free to message me any feedback that you have. So much love.